Kenosha, Wisconsin, the industrial city, built on a solid foundation of enterprise and initiative. In 1848, Wisconsin became the 30th state to join the Union. In 1850, just 2 years later, the people of Kenosha sought and won incorporation, and a city was born. Today, it is a living tribute to American achievement. This is one of the trademarks symbolic of Kenosha's progress. The Simmons Company, world's largest producer of bedding equipment, was founded in 1870. That faraway year when Ulysses S. Grant was president and Custer's last stand against the Sioux was still a current event. In those early days, the company made many needed products which helped develop the Kenosha area and the Midwest. The general manager of Simmons Central Division is Les Wayrow. In addition to Kenosha, plants are located at Columbus, Dallas, Kansas City, and Munster, with service stations and sales offices in principal cities throughout the Midwest. Principal products now manufactured at the Kenosha plant are hotel bedroom furniture, inner spring mattresses, hide-a-bed sofas, lounges, studio couches, box springs, coil springs, and hospital room equipment of all types. To plan new products and to keep Simmons ahead in its field is the responsibility of the National Engineering and Development Division. The division is staffed by more than 100 design and product engineers and technicians. Blueprints are drawn and tools are built to produce improved bedding equipment. Skilled craftsmen operate precision machines to shape these vital tools, dies, and other parts. Reclaimed railroad rails are the raw material processed through the rolling mill. The rails are transported from the storage yard by a magnetic crane. Rails are broken into 10-foot lengths and then moved on a roller conveyor to the mill, where they pass into a huge furnace. The Simmons plant is strategically located to take advantage of Kenosha's excellent transportation facilities. The company boasts more than 1,000 feet of harbor dock and some 5 miles of railroad tracks in its vast plant area. It takes a heap of heat to transform the heavy metal bars into just the right stage for further processing. At 2,500 degrees, the rail is rolled out of the furnace into the slitter for division into 3 sections. Here's another operation where skill is vital. Don't try it. It's not as easy as it looks. After angle iron and flat stock is formed, a 210-ton gang press punches holes, slots, and cutouts in the various sections. The sections are used to fabricate frames for spring bottoms, studio couches, hide-a-beds, and hospital bed parts. New theme unit furniture is manufactured exclusively at the vast modern Kenosha plant. Unity and precision in the production of separate parts is accomplished by costly dies, which create a multitude of units. Other special tools, such as foaming devices to bend dresser slides, speed up production without any loss in quality. The Simmons organization has long been famous for engineering know-how, skill, and the kind of experience that only the right industrial environment can offer. All case goods are reinforced on the inside corners by projection welding. The purpose, of course, is to introduce great strength and rigidity into the product. A large power brake forms the lip of parts of a bedside cabinet and other steel furniture. The application of Simmons finishes, based on an assortment of solid, two-tone, and wood-grain colors, is the crowning touch of beauty. All steel tubing used in the manufacture of beds and other items of furniture is fabricated by first forming a series of rolls. 59 gauges of flat steel can form 11 diameters of round tubing. 90 different shapes of tubing can be worked from those 11 coil rolls. The tube is formed, electrically welded, and cut in the drawbench, which is approximately 84 feet long. The tubes are then cut to specified lengths at the far end of the same work area. The very height hospital bed, an essential piece of equipment in hospitals, was pioneered and perfected by Simmons. It permits the patient and the doctor to have the bed raised or lowered as necessary for examinations or comfortable sleeping. Each bed must pass a strict quality control test before it is accepted for shipment. An important milestone in the company's progress was reached in the 1920s with the development of a now nationally known Beauty Rest mattress, the world's first economical ventilated inner spring mattress. The modern Beauty Rest features individually pocketed barrel-shaped coils with floating action. The unique design enables the mattress to support the weight of light or heavy persons with maximum comfort for the sleeper. Each coil acts as a little mattress to give uniform support when pressure is applied to it. Closing the top and border with a taped edge is accomplished by a sewing machine that travels around the mattress table. America's fast-growing population and the resultant building of many small homes, hotels, and motels made dual-purpose sleep furniture a necessity. Simmons met this challenge by designing and developing a full line of studio couches, lounges, and the famous hide-a-bed sofa, which opens to make a full-size bed. Trained upholsterers apply the basic materials and fabrics to many styles of the unit. At the end of the assembly line, the mattress and cushions are added to the sofa. Final inspection readies the completed pieces for packing and shipping to furniture dealers. New styles and fabrics are brought out twice a year to please the eye and to give the buyer a wide selection from which to choose. The Simmons Company showroom in Chicago's Merchandise Mart is the largest bedding display in the world. Every major Simmons product is presented on the show floor in typical room settings or in unusual display arrangements. One of the settings duplicates a hotel room and graphically portrays the advantages of steel furniture for hotel use. The color scheme is colonial red and antique white. Cheerful colors are part of the planning for hospital furniture. A luxury motel room features sofas that convert into beds at night. The House of Simmons, a flourishing member of Kenosha's industrial family. Looking for a success story? Kenosha abounds with them, but few are as unique as the meteoric rise of the Leblanc Corporation in musical instrument production. The firm became the world's largest manufacturer of quality woodwinds in little more than 10 years. President Vito Pascucci is the central figure in the story. The main characters include sales engineer Howard Sandberg, Vice President Gilbert Marshner, advertising manager Dan Henkin, and Ralph Zampano, the plant superintendent. The story reads like a historical novel, dating back to 1750, when the Noblet musical instrument firm was founded in France. In 1946, almost 200 years later, the Leblanc Kenosha organization materialized on the same family tree. Georges Leblanc, one of the most highly skilled craftsmen in all of France, purchased the Noblet interests in 1904. Through the years, he and his son Leon made the world's finest woodwinds. During the Second World War, when Vito Pascucci was a member of the Glenn Miller Army Air Corps Band, he struck up a close friendship with the Leblanc family. The Leblancs asked him to head their interests in North America. Thus, with Pascucci at the helm, the Kenosha operation came into being at the end of the war. From the European technique of tailoring special models to individual musicians, Leblanc Kenosha originated a production plan to manufacture woodwind instruments in volume without suffering a loss in quality. The company is the only one in the world making the complete clarinet family, ranging from an A-flat piccolo clarinet to a contrabass clarinet. In this assembly room, other instruments such as the English horn, oboe, flute, piccolo, saxophone, trumpet, cornet, and flugelhorn are put together. The famous Rezatone clarinet is manufactured in the Kenosha plant. This clarinet was conceived by Pascucci in his desire to create a professional quality instrument at a student price. The success of the Rezatone has been phenomenal. Mass production methods permit a budget price while professional caliber is maintained. Pascucci is one of the country's noted authorities on musical instrument manufacturing. His services as a guest speaker are sought constantly by music retailers, manufacturers, and educators who respect his ingenious production methods. One of the most responsible steps in the production of a quality musical instrument is the testing phase. The tester must make sure the instrument functions properly. He checks the instrument by working the keys to make sure there is no end play or wobble. He also plays a series of notes to test for proper intonation. The findings are entered on a quality control sheet. Pascucci and his superintendent, Ralph Zumpano, take special precautions to ensure that no instrument leaves the plant unless it meets the firm's high standards. Leblanc of Kenosha, an outstanding musical success story. As man continues to invade the sky and go further and further astray from the earth, he will owe his achievements in no small measure to a company that calls Kenosha home. The people of the Dynamatic division of the Eaton Manufacturing Company can look to the sky and take pride in their products. The huge, intricate machines that determine on the ground what a powerful engine will do in the air. Through the immense shipping room pass units ranging from 1/4 horsepower adjustable speed drives to 20,000 horsepower couplings and dynamometers. Each model is designed to test a particular function of a motor. For example, a Model 2530 absorbing dynamometer checks bearing temperatures, cooling requirements, vibrations, and capacity as General Manager F.L. Hoff looks on with top executives H.P. Lunskow and J.E. Stein. This instrument shows the speed or shaft rotation of the unit. In order for a dynamometer to successfully test various engine components, it must be flawless itself. Erection assemblers take great pains to make sure that testing apparatus is in accordance with blueprints. A torque measuring scale is one testing device. Rotors are carefully balanced in a cycle from 0 to operating speed. If the balancing machine shows that the rotor is out of balance, a small piece of metal is welded to the section that's underweight to bring it into proper proportion. Dynamatic semi-automatic turret lathes perform turning, boring, and facing machine operations. Hundreds of dynamometers have been built to test gasoline and jet aircraft engines. To get a clearer idea of what a dynamometer does, think about your family car and its horsepower rating. The only way the manufacturer can test the horsepower of a particular car is by the dynamometer test. A dynamometer connected to the engine crankshaft takes the place of the rear wheels. The power that develops is measured by a weighing scale. The horsepower is calculated from the force in pounds in combination with engine speed. A pantograph burning machine equipped with 3 torches is used to cut steel plate. It's guided by an optical tracing eye that follows any desired pattern. The plate is hot rolled and fed into a rolling machine that will form the steel into a ring. Production facilities include both light and heavy machining, welding, grinding, balancing, cleaning, painting, fabrication, assembly of components, testing, and a complete service repair shop. The heart of all Dynamatic's equipment is the coil. The energy to operate comes from the coil, a unit made up principally of many thousands of feet of copper wire. With the rapid advances being made in all types of manufacturing and processing, eddy current rotating drives are finding more and more applications. Eddy currents are the result of electrical energy generated into a magnetic field. What the ultimate limitations will be on sizes of drives supplied to the aircraft industry and government agencies remains a moot question. Units now being manufactured by the Dynamatic division of Eaton are capable of handling horsepower and speeds thought impossible just a few years ago. Kenosha Automatic Products Company, a jobbing manufacturer of screw machine items, is only 12 years old. Yet under the leadership of President M.G. Borneman, the firm is already approaching its 3rd major expansion. Parts are made in quantities of from 1,000 to 1 million for customers in fields ranging through automotive, farm implement, electrical, plumbing, and others. With tolerances of vital consideration, it is small wonder that the micrometer is the insignia of the industry. This part has a tolerance of 1/1000th of an inch. A turret lathe is used to produce a small run of parts for maximum economy. During the Korean War, the company produced over 1 million M91 fuse bodies. The Kenosha Automatic Products Company has played an increasingly important part in the growth and development of local industries by supplying needs for automatic screw machine products. Alfred Mengo and John Grebb, President and Secretary-Treasurer respectively of G&H Products Corporation, inspect the firm's output, they're guided by the rigid standards established by the dairy industry and the U.S. Public Health Department. The firm manufactures a complete line of valves and fittings of stainless steel, nickel alloy, for dairy and food concerns. Centrifugal pumps and holding tube assemblies are also manufactured. Because of the tremendous demand for its products, G&H is moving to a new factory and office space covering some 35,000 square feet. President George H. Becker and executives Leroy Knowling and George Reichertz of the Sullivan-Becker Machine Company can be proud of their firm's world-famous spray gun. The unit was designed primarily for use when the precision spray of a compressor-type unit was not necessary. It is being utilized in industry for rust-proofing finished assemblies, machines, machine tools, parts and storage, and similar product items. Founded and incorporated in 1923, the Sullivan-Becker organization has served industry in peace and war by producing a tremendous variety of custom tools. Custom tooling means the manufacture of apparatus needed to make or assemble a product item in a customer's plant. For example, jigs are required to hold pieces for further machining, welding, or assembly. Dies are needed for stamping or forming of an infinite number of products. In many homes, as well as industry throughout the world, there are finished items which had their beginnings in a Sullivan-Becker jig, tool, die, or fixture. Special machinery is another phase of the firm's output. The Becker spray gun is part of yet another operation of the thriving Kenosha Company, the manufacturing of finished consumer products for a wide variety of uses. Spray gun pressure is tested at 1,200 pounds per square inch. An unusual use of the gun is for the application of germicides on body areas prior to surgery and other hospital procedures. Specialized pieces of equipment made to order for customers have included everything from thread rolling machines to fiberglass jigs for assembling automobiles. The Sullivan-Becker Machine Company, a vital element in Kenosha's pattern for progress. The Frost Company is a member of that distinguished group of concerns now spreading the good name of Kenosha industry to the far corners of the world. The company produces a wide assortment of goods through its four major divisions: metal castings for industrial use, complete brass trim for plumbing supplies, stampings and deep-drawn parts for heavy industry, and the finishing of products for the automotive and household appliance fields. One of the most interesting of the daily operations is the making of metal parts from cores. Cores are made up of special sands and binders. Molders prepare the sand image of a metal pattern of the part to be cast. Cores are passed through an oven and baked for 20 minutes at 500 degrees Fahrenheit, and then brought by conveyor through the cooling elevator, where they are removed and sent to the molders. Molten metal flows around the cores, leaving the interior hollow. New machinery and equipment in the shop and a layout engineered for a maximum savings of time and effort in processing materials have greatly facilitated the various manufacturing operations. Metal is removed from the furnace in a graphite ladle. The temperature is regulated to 2,100 degrees, and pouring begins. This little bit of knowledge may come as a surprise to many of you, but brass is actually mostly copper. The brass in use here for tubing is 85% copper, 5% tin, 5% lead, and 5% zinc. Engineering study and experiments in laboratory and shop have resulted in continual improvement of processes and the expansion of the product line to more than 1,500 items. Many of these individual products include a great number of separate parts. Seamless brass tubes are cut to length and then annealed at each end for a severe bend. Looking on is Factory Superintendent John Frost, the fourth generation of company management. The machine is forming a 180-degree bend on a sink trap. M.C. Frost company president and the third generation to supervise operations since the firm was formed in 1902, inspects a chucking machine which performs 7 tasks at once. When Walter J. Frost decided to leave the bicycle lamp business at the turn of the century and begin producing plumbing fixture trim, it was a wise move. Just as bicycles were giving way to the motor car, plumbing installations were also being modernized. By 1912, the original Frost Company moved to new and larger factory facilities. One of the most important steps in the production of plumbing trim and other metal parts is the plating process. After a careful buffing, the parts are dipped in a caustic solution, rinsed, plated, first bronze, then nickel, then chrome, and finally rinsed and dried. They're built to withstand end-use wear and tear for many, many years. Frost Company, a worthy member of the Kenosha industrial family. Martin Holland and Joseph Bosick, partners in the Lafayette Machine and Tool Company, purchased the firm some 10 years ago. Yet in 1950, they built a new plant and entered a period of growth which saw the original volume of business triple. Credit the expansion to the firm's reputation for precision workmanship. The plant has modern equipment for the production of tools, dies, jigs, and fixtures. In addition to this, the company specializes in short production runs of parts in cases where it would not be practical for a customer to undertake expensive tooling for such work. The company also designs and manufactures special machines to meet customer needs. It also makes replacement parts for companies with branch factories in foreign countries. Both partners, Holland and Bosick, have a broad background of machine, tool, and die experience. And local manufacturers make extensive use of their specialized knowledge and services. In a contract with the Atomic Energy Commission, the Lafayette Company was commended for its accomplishment in being the first to produce equipment with interchangeable parts. One of the most unusual industries in Kenosha is the Kenosha Pattern Works. Here, expert craftsmen perform the highly specialized task of creating by hand a multitude of detailed patterns. Manufacturers utilize these patterns to make metal castings for vital machinery parts. The firm has served with honor through both world wars. So vital are patterns in industry that practically no development work could be done without them. Pattern making might be called the key trade to the manufacturing industry. This philosophy of responsibility has guided President Edward Bladel since its beginning in 1912. Big oaks from little acorns grow. That saying might be applied to the Lundberg Brothers Machine Company, a thriving concern which began operations in a garage. Back in 1938, Rudy Lundberg set up a small machine shop in his father's garage. The quality of his work on tools, dies, jigs, and fixtures was so excellent that orders began pouring in. And today, the future looks just as bright. Among the newest of the many manufacturing plants in Kenosha is the Famco Machine Company, at least in terms of local residents. Actually, Famco was founded in Racine more than 30 years ago, but moved its 2 plants to Kenosha in mid-1952. This 13-ton punch press and this special shear for automated cutoffs are examples of power equipment produced by the company. With the move to Kenosha, Famco was able to increase the types and production of its line of relatively light machine tools. A line of milling machines is among the newer of the firm's products. Grinding saddle dovetails on the tables for the milling machines is a delicate job because of extremely low tolerances. Famco products have been shipped into all the 48 states and to countries on every continent across the world. The company's executives include Secretary Eugene Knoll, Works Manager Lowell Jensen, Chief Engineer Bernard Matter, Executive Vice President Joseph N. Knoll, President H.B. Knoll. The executive roster also includes Vice President Controller John Glebs. This has been a story of industrial Kenosha and of the accomplishments of its people in their search for better living. History tells us that the first industries in this area were a sawmill, a cooperage, and a blacksmith shop, established by the early settlers about 1835. The achievements of the people of Kenosha since those faraway days is a pattern for progress significant to every American. Economic experts look for an increasing demand for thousands of new homes, along with new schools and shopping centers. The industrial renaissance in flower these many years in Kenosha seems assured of bursting into fuller bloom than at any time in its history. Into the great diversity of industrial products go the skills and experience of some 14,000 Kenosans who run the lathes and punch presses, the typewriters and tabulating machines. The American system of free enterprise provides a greater abundance of goods and services than in any other place on earth. The benefits of this great wealth have been more widely distributed than ever. The spark that ignited progress was the only major difference between American and other nations: individual freedom. Kenosha's pattern for progress is people working together with a common goal of community and industrial betterment. People whose mission is to help Kenosha live up to its reputation as the better city.